Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Star Wars Out in the Dark. My name is Will. I am your storyteller. And last we left off, I want to apologize for our attempt to have a episode last week. We had some issues, but we are back, and so far it's looking really well. So, in the last episode, Scattered to the Winds, everyone literally was scattered to the winds. Flid was trying to do some detective work. Illis offered up his harvester droid so they could at least get Eedee moving again. They ended up heading over to Reissup and meeting him, who turned out to be the kind of technician of the local farmers. Uh, Reissup told them that the Jedi have caused nothing but problems, showed them that he is also in possession of a old hunter-killer droid from the Old Republic era, and that his family has been in guarding it for something greater, some great purpose that was never really detailed. Eedee used his far-seeing ability to try and see the future of the baby, and he saw a storm. He saw the shape of Dr. Shakti, the shape of Jix, and of Silas, probably all in silhouette. But he heard Flid's voice and his silhouette kind of come running into his periphery and just kind of in a loud-ish fashion, just kind of urge to keep running. They discovered that Reissup has dealt with shards before, and that he is the first of his generation, of his family, to actually live out in the wilds of the non-core worlds. Jix brought the ship over. Eedee described the humanoid it saw in the basement, and then searched for Silas through the Force and had a moment where they turned all their attention towards him, and in a kind of bit of a surprise, Silas lashed out with the dark side of the Force, hurting Flid and almost killing Jix, if not for Eedee's quick thought of using first aid and whatnot. The ship was forced to microjump, where they lost Silas and had a damaged radio on the ship. But Jix flew back, landed in the Republic base to finish the mission of trying to get that small kind of tractor beam installed on the Zotzzek. And that's when they saw the two Aether sprites on the landing pad, and when everything kind of turned to mush, as Nella and her Jedi Master Doman Crow became evident and took an interest in Eedee. And there was mention of needing answers to questions posed by Jethrak Kiln, who was Eedee's master, and how Doman's master, Plo Dolo, had interactions with Kiln's son, which left him troubled. Doman and Nella both ended up using the Jedi mind trick on Flid to get him to leave Eedee with them and to kind of go about his business. And we left off with Eedee in the Jedi's possession, Flid flying off, kind of with the urgings of the Jedi and almost with no qualms because of the Jedi mind trick. And this is where we're going to find our pair. Hello, boys.
Yo, 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 yo.
See you.
So what's up? To be back.
Good to be back. So, we don't know where Dr. Shakti is. We don't know where Silas is. Or, you know where Dr. Shakti is. It's a question of, would Flid the next day, once the kind of urgings of the Jedi have worn off, is it something that he would try to reach out to, or is Eedee more important for him to try and kind of set things right?
Yeah, right now he's not gonna bother them.
Yeah.
Because he knows they are with family right now.
Mhm.
And right now, Edee's his best bet. Plus, Edee's in trouble. He knows that the Shakti's with her fam, their fam and everything, that they're good. Edee's in trouble. Silas is in trouble, but in order to find Silas, he needs Eedee. So yeah, he's gonna try to get Eedee back
Okay.
somehow. That's But right now he's also feeling kind of down because he feels as a failure, as a failed captain. His whole crew is scattered everywhere.
Yeah. Jix has been being looked after by Krilla and Hattie. And they've kind of tended to your wounds as well. Illis has asked what happened to the two of you. Jix has left it up to you to kind of share whatever you think is pertinent. But you can tell that Jix has been changed by the situation that's happened.
What type of change?
There's a kind of solace, a somber kind of sadness anytime that you bring up the Republic or the Jedi. And he kind of doesn't have the same energy he had when you arrived. A little more sluggish, but you also don't know if that's repercussions of what happened to him.
Let's see. Yeah, so Ellis is there and he's asking what happened, correct?
Yeah.
I go and I start telling him we docked. Everything was going well. Then I looked to see where Jigs is at.
He's in the kitchen. He's making tea.
We were approached by the two Jedis. He started questioning us, mostly Eedee. They questioned about the ship. They questioned what we're gonna do with the ship. We answered. It was just, I don't know. I remember commotion. I remember them taking Eedee. I remember trying to stop them. It's hazy from there, and just Jedi's. I've always heard the diner. Back at home, I've always heard the stories about their little tricks that they do and all sorts. Man, he got me, and next thing I know, I'm here with Jigs back at the farm, getting it safe.
Yes. It is not unheard of that the Jedi are manipulative to get their ways.
Supposed to be protectors, though. They're supposed to be good. Supposed to be fingers of peace. At least that's the stories I've always heard at the diner. My customers.
Jigs comes in with a tea set and kind of puts out the three cups in front of the three of you. And you hear Illis. Perhaps there is a reason why the Jedi have taken your droid friend. We cannot know what the Jedi have foreseen.
He is a Jedi as well. You saw that he's something special about Eedee.
Yes.
Gotta get him back. Plus, he's the only one that can find Silas.
You hear a truck coming up, the sound of the repulsor lift engines coming up the lane. And and before Jix can even kind of pour tea, he mutters something under his breath. He puts the teapot down. He starts to make his way over to the door. And then you see him kind of motion for the two of you to follow. And as Illis gets up, he goes over to the door and he's just like, Well then, it looks like things are starting to turn in your favor, Mr. Grilled.
Why do you say that? Because nothing has been going in my favor ever.
The repulsor lift truck kind of comes to a stop, and you see Reissup up out of the driver's seat, and he looks over at the three of you kind of standing in the doorway. He smiles, he waves. I heard you boys were looking for a tractor beam. You see him pat a covered large item on the bed of his truck. As he pulls back the tarp, you see this just old looking but kind of classic tractor beam projector sitting on the back of his truck.
Is that what I think it is? I go up to it and I start looking at it.
Yeah. He's like, I called in a couple favors and I promised Gorla Fent that I would have dinner with her and the twins, Oric and Sewa, but you know, it's good to keep tabs on our farming neighbors across the valley. So they had one. They weren't conditionally using currently, so you know, it's on loan. So try not to get it destroyed or anything.
Okay. What I owe you for this?
I mean, like I said, it's on loan, so there's nothing to owe. You just got to make sure it comes back in the same state that it's in.
I still need Eedee though. Get Eedee back.
That's going to be a little bit more difficult, I'm afraid. I haven't really heard much from the base. Anybody else from your crew available, or
Just put my head down. Nod.
Illis kind of steps up and puts his hand on your shoulder. Until the time has come for his crewmates to rejoin him, I believe that Jix and I will take up whatever mantle has been left over. From what I hear, Jix has lost his taste for piloting, and Jix kind of nods quietly. Reissup wipes his brow and he's just like, well, I can't let you really fly this thing without an actual mechanic. Let me call my wife. And Jix kind of nods at him and lets him into his house. And as that's happening, we transition over to a very sterile environment.
How sterile are we talking?
There are no windows in the room. It is all just kind of steel. There's a single door, and the only thing that you have access to is what looks to be a camera unit in the corner, because you can see yourself sitting in the center of the room.
If I tap into the camera, I just see myself.
Yep.
And there's nothing beyond the camera?
No.
Okay.
You do notice, however, that your actual body has been encased in what looks like an atrium. There are a couple of kind of small bonsai-like trees that are growing in this kind of secluded, kept area. And you see that there are these two lizards that are kind of on either side of you. One of them has a yellow kind of belly with a green top that kind of has streaks of blue. And the other one is a green belly with a kind of yellowish mustard top that has streaks of purple. And they both kind of have given you a wide berth, but you notice that they're very kind of aware that you're in the atrium with them.
I would like to. The atrium, is it completely enclosed, or is it more like a jail cell?
No, it's enclosed. It's a glass atrium.
Is there like a handle up at the top? Like, I just want to understand. It's not the Eedee body in the atrium. They just like said, let's rip the crystal out, put it in this glass atrium with these two lizards. Bada bing, we're done.
Bada bing, we're done.
They did the bada bing.
Yeah.
All right, that changes things. All right.
Excuse me. You do see that there's a wire that kind of comes into the bottom of the atrium that kind of goes out towards the camera, which you're assuming is how they have hardwired you into the camera system that's in the room.
Okay. So I can only see off the camera.
Yeah.
Is it just vision, or is there sound?
You haven't heard anything, so you're assuming that it's only vision.
I can't even hear the lizards? Okay.
But if you will it, you can kind of move the camera around.
Oh. I want to see if there's... You said there was a door in here, or no, because it's not sealed.
No, it's a single door into the room.
What?
The room looks to be about, at best guess, like a 50 by 50, and the atrium's in the center of it.
Okay. 50 by 50?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Now that I have like this construction job, I actually know what 50 feet is.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Before it's like 50 feet, it's nothing. Now it's like 50 feet's a lot.
Yeah.
50 by 50?
Now you know why the average speed in D&D is 30 feet.
Yeah, no, I completely get it.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to look at the door.
Okay.
How's the handle? Is it one of these? Or is it one of these?
There is no handle on this side.
Of course there's no handle on this side. Is there a gap underneath the door?
No. No, it's sealed.
It's sealed. And I can't, and they had the foresight to just connect a single camera to this room.
To you.
Cheeky buggers. Okay. Um, and I think I would like to affect the mind of both of the lizards.
Okay. You instinctively try to kind of reach out to try to garner the help, I would imagine, of these lizards.
Yeah.
And as you go to tap into the force, you feel like you've been disconnected from it. You actually can't feel the lizards in space around you, even though you can see them in the camera. You can't feel the trees. You have no spatial awareness of where you are in the force. And that's when you actually do hear the whirring sounds of other cameras.
Can I jump? Like cameras?
You could try.
Favorite thing you could say.
Let's have you make the first roll of the night.
How does 20 with a 1? How's
Uh,
that for you?
Gonna be
Okay.
good night for you.
Yep.
So
All right. I'll be here all night, folks.
you're uh, you jump to another camera and you're immediately shunted out of it. And you can hear footsteps outside. And you see what looks to be a technician come in, and then you see the the male Jedi come walking in past him and just comes up to the camera that has been hard-lined into your crystalline body.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of see him look up at it and kind of motions for you to kind of aim down at him.
Sure, I guess.
And as you do, you kind of see the technician is pulling some stuff out of a satchel. And he's like, Eedee, I presume, as is your call sign. Now, be aware that you have no vocal unit attached to you right now, but you do have a microphone and this lovely camera that has been given to you so that you can at least hear what we're saying and react in some fashion. I need you to nod as best as possible if you understand this.
Shake my head, yes.
Okay, so the camera goes up and down. And he's like, excellent. Uh, the Jedi Council has issued an order that you are very valuable as a studied specimen, especially given the kind of uh, deforestation that has been happening on your planet. And we are shortly running out of other shards that have even shown a hint of what you have shown with the Force. So, uh, if you'll indulge us, and you see the technician kind of nod at him, and suddenly, excuse me, the camera goes black. You can hear the movement still happening. You can hear kind of like the sparks of things being welded or being kind of structured together. And then you suddenly see from a very small perspective, kind of like a floor level, you do have this one vision kind of pop into your control. The microphone is still kind of set up by the corner in the camera, but you also now can feel like you can move. Because you have
Am I in a
you have
mouse droid?
the register of two. No, because you have the register of 2 legs. You have a bipedal register that has popped up.
Can I look down?
You look around using your new eyesight, and it looks like you're on a tripod of just a camera on a tripod, and the thing that you're moving with the legs is an actual, like, just a droid body, like a little pit droid body that just has legs, and they're kind of wired into your mainframe.
I'm a tripod on pit droid legs.
No, your camera is just tripoded,
Okay.
and the legs are just a completely separate issue entirely.
What?
And you just hear, could you move? I see you're moving the camera around. Could you move the legs as well?
I go and I get real close to him.
Okay. You get as far as the cord will let you go. He's like, oh, good. Let's up the ante. And your vision suddenly goes black again. You lose the connection to the legs, and after a few moments, you get a second vision. You're now in a second camera, the one that you were trying to get into. You have your first camera, this new camera, in opposite corners. You have the one microphone attached to the original camera, and you now have a left arm and a right arm that you can see have been attached to either side of the atrium. And you just hear him. Could you move the arms for me?
Wait, hold on. So it's the atrium.
Yep.
2 arms.
Yep.
The camera, and then the legs, but none of this is attached to each other.
No, the legs have not been reattached.
In the atrium.
At all. You at all.
Oh, the legs are just gone.
Yeah, the legs are still there. You can see them on the floor. They just have not plugged them into the interface. He's in the rear of the atrium.
So he's in my reach?
Kind of. It'd be rough to reach him.
I want to grab his hand.
Right. You instinctively move both arms towards him, and he immediately kind of backs away. And you hear Doman kind of snicker. It's all right. Can't
Feel all right.
Can't reach you. Good.
I'm gonna kill Doman Crow.
Keep going. And again, you start to lose things, you gain things, and they're pushing your connectivity to its very limit. Like, at this point, you have all 4 cameras in the room. You have 4 different pit droid body parts that you're moving. You have the microphone. You have the 4 different microphones that are all kind of echoing in your mental unit. And it's just, they are pushing you to the very limits of what you can kind of sustain.
Feels like torture.
It could be considered that.
I want to rush all the pit droids to the technician.
Okay. They climb on top of him, and he kind of like backs away, and there's a moment where you kind of reach.
I just need one of them to wrestle whatever equipment's in his hands out, if it's like a remote or something.
Oh no, it's just like a screwdriver. It's literally like a spanner.
I want it gone.
Okay.
So I want one of them to swallow it, and then I want them to run around in circles, and he has to figure out which one has it.
So you take his spanner, and the second you start to run around, everything kind of gets shut off. And then you're back to just the camera and the microphone. But now you see that they've attached a kind of speaker box. And Doman reaches up and he's like, Eedee, how far have you pushed yourself, do you think? You know how valuable you are to the Order? You can speak, by the way. We've attached this beautiful harmonic device.
I have gone farther than any of my kind have possibly gone. And yet, what you have placed in this room feels like a mockery of to what I'm able to do alongside that through the Force.
He comes over and stands next to the atrium. He's like, Eedee, you have the ability, from what little we've done here today in the span of maybe a couple of hours, we've seen that you can simultaneously control up to and maybe more than 8 units off of just your one cradle. Eedee, imagine the good you could do if we put you in charge of, I don't know, a dozen security droids. If we
I
put
don't
you,
want to work with violence. That's not what I had joined to do. I am a creature of knowledge and growth.
Eedee, you stand on the precipice of protecting so many of us out there. Just by the sheer fact of what you are, of what the Force has made of you. Don't you think that turning your back on this kind of is turning your back on the Jedi way?
No. My master taught me that we are to protect ourselves, and through that we protect others. He did not teach me or will me as a creature to be used as a weapon.
Eedee, I don't want to use you as a weapon. I want to use
That
you.
is, you say that, but yet you marvel at the fact that what I can control upwards to 8, I assure you, more units.
That's.
This is weaponizing my kind.
I don't think it is, Eedee. I think it's the best defense we've ever asked for. We no longer have to put Jedi in harm's way if we can just send a unit that you can control.
We are sworn to protect the galaxy, not use droids in that manner, not even through violence, but through understanding and conversation. Violence should be the last resort at all times. What you are suggesting is no greater than what the banking clan has funded. I have been in these bodies. I know what they can do. I've spoken to the banking clan. I've seen the videos of what is happening to my kind. That there's no more. What you are suggesting is no different than what a nerf herder would do.
You see him kind of step back and he's just like,
You cannot speak down to me, for you are my master. For I am greater than you in age and wisdom. Clearly, my kind is not one to be toyed with just because we have a power. You have a power, Master Crow, and that is the Force, and it wills you to do its bidding and to do just through it. And if you are struggling to see that, then I suggest you find your master or the master before them or someone on the council and seek guidance. For I would give anything to return to Coruscant and seek guidance in the library, which is where I belonged until I was cast out of that ship by pirates.
you see him kind of tilt his head at you and he's just like, it seems you've strayed from the teachings, Eedee. So quick to anger.
This is not anger. You are hearing a modulated voice through a screen. I am speaking justly, and you are interpreting it as anger, for it is not what you want to hear, and for that I am sorrowful.
You see he motions to the technician, and you suddenly feel the loss of the speaker box. You feel the loss of the microphone, and all that's left is just the camera. And they nod at each other, and you see them leave.
Where are my lizards?
What happened?
Where are my lizards?
They're there. They're there with you.
Can I try and connect to the lizards again?
Every time that you do, there is just this kind of blankness in the
What
force.
did he do to my room?
And as you kind of sit there, trying to figure out what's happening, why it's happening, we flash back. It has now been 2 solid days of work on the ship. But the tractor beam has been installed in the carbon containment. It's not pretty, but it'll do the job.
It's a lot of work, boys. A lot of work. More must just be compared to like work in the kitchen.
Reissup kind of goes over, turns it on, and you see it pulling his repulsor lift truck towards the ship. He turns it off. He's like, "All right, well, it won't be hauling starships through the cosmos or anything, but if this thing exists and it's out there, then this baby will definitely be able to pick it up."
Will, it has to. Has to. Something has to go. Has to.
Yeah.
It's good. This is good. Things are starting to look up. You were right, Ellis. Luck is starting to turn in our favor.
Yeah, there you go. All you need is a little bit of all you need is one good thing to happen, and then everything just kind of falls into place.
Do this.
Yeah, I believe you can. So what's on the agenda? What do you want to do first?
Still no word, right? Eedee or his.
Nobody has reached out to you, the crew.
What'd you do, Jigs? Wearing my shoes.
He looks at the crew of 4. That is you, him, Illis, and Reissup. And kind of looks up at you. Jix does not know what Eedee can do. There are others we can call. Reissup mentioned Gorla. Reissup mentioned the twins. They can help.
How efficient are they?
Reissup kind of looks at you as like, well, Gorla's Gorla's a widow, but her husband was a guard in Coruscant, so I think, she's not going to be much help in a fight. But she might have a way with Starship Blaster. She might be able to get into one of the turrets. The twins are a little more useful. They're kind of like me. They're first generation farmers, but they grew up in the mid rim, kind of squirting around. They've seen things.
They know what's at stake. This could mean.
We can call them, get them over here if you want. Up to you.
Mm-hmm.
But that'll shift us to a crew of 7. And that does increase the odds of us succeeding.
Can succeed then for sure. Just bring that artifact back. We can probably get D. If we have something to get rid of this. Just frustrate me. All of them.
Yeah. I'll make a call then. And come over. We might have to go
Definitely
pick them up.
do that. We have this little crew and get this mission accomplished. And rescue Eedee, rescue Silas. Hopefully by then, the Shakti would have returned from their family.
All right, I'll make the call
Or
then.
if come back. They don't want to come back.
You see,
wouldn't take
Illis comes into the room, just like,
Just a tangent.
I believe it would behoove us all to go outside. Things look to have changed.
What do you mean, Ellis?
And as all of you kind of go outside, except for Reissup, who's making the phone calls, you see that there is a Venator class cruiser visible in the lower orbit. And you can see just a kind of squadron of fighters escorting what looks to be just this very large shuttle towards the direction of the Republic base.
What does this mean?
Illis kind of looks at you, is like, this means that Randall Rames has arrived. It means things are going to get a lot more difficult. Flid.
We gotta take care of this and do it soon. Have to leave tonight. How fast can we? What's the? Oh, man. Oh. Okay. Just like the kitchen. Ingredients. Recipe. Step by step. This. Okay. Where are we with the 2 new recruits?
Reissup
They in?
comes out after a few minutes. Yeah, the twins are in. Gorla's not sure what she could do, but I did tell her that we had issues with the Jedi at the Republic base, so she's gonna try to go over there and use some of her clout to kind of figure out where your boy is.
Okay. He's gonna be contact and intel on that end. Twins are coming with us, correct?
Yeah, they're both excited, which worries me because they're only excited whenever they're gonna cause trouble.
Not afford any trouble or any mistakes. We just saw Randall Raines has just arrived.
Yeah, I can hear the ship in the atmosphere.
We have to. Soon can they get here, the twins?
They can be here by tonight.
Good. We leave as soon as they get here.
All right, let me go. Let me go tell my wife I'll be out and about. I'll be back.
Whatever arrangements, preparations, two of you need to do. We leave tonight as soon as the twins arrive.
Nods. And he gets into his truck and he takes off. The three of you go back into Jix's house. You can see Krilla and Hattie kind of sitting there in the living room. It kind of holds you back a bit, and he's just like, "This is going to be dangerous. You understand this, yes?"
Get it.
We're fighting a
On what?
war on two fronts.
Guess I've been running away. This type of trouble, these dangers, all my life. It's probably why I stayed in the kitchen and everything. Brother, he didn't. He went off as a soldier, a pilot. The oldest gonna become a pilot too, just like his uncle. Not running away no more. It's just a chef. I'm a captain, and I have to do what's right. I get this. You, everybody else on this planet, and do right. Get back my crew.
Very well.
Yeah. Yours or not, it's got to be done. I'm gonna see to it.
Well, we'll find out how much luck you still have then, won't we?
Luck or no luck, gotta get done.
You see
You
Jix.
got it.
Jix kind of turns on the hollow projection of his television, and there's a big fanfare for Grandel Rames arriving, uh, and as he descends from his shuttle, you obviously see a small kind of coterie that you recognize from your time on Bespin. He's got his three kind of soldiers with him. You notice that Nira Hayes follows shortly thereafter. But you also notice that there's this kind of moment where your heart drops, and you see that following along as part of like the bureaucratic entourage, you see a Celestin woman that's very familiar to you. It's AIM, and she's wearing a Republic uniform.
She doing?
And as that sinks in, we transition back to Eedee. Excuse me. You don't know how long it's been.
Are the lizard's still alive?
Yeah, yeah. But like, you're a creature that doesn't need sleep.
I'm just counting off of the lizard's sleep cycle.
Okay. It has been about 6 sleep cycles.
Okay.
And you see
So
Nella.
it could be 2 days or a week.
Yeah. And Nella comes in. She looks at you. You can see her in the camera. A technician comes in, reconnects the microphone, and then reconnects the voice box.
Oh.
She kind of looks at you. She looks over at the camera. I understand your trepidation at what Master Crow has asked of you. I'm not here for that. I'm here because I can sense my brother's presence on you.
Am I aware this is
No?
we had this conversation as a group, didn't we?
No, you know that he has a sister
Uh-huh.
who might be a Jedi, but you've never been given her name.
Okay. So you're here for personal means rather than goading me into a false life.
I don't know if it's because I don't have the age or the experience that Master Crow has. But I don't share the vision he has.
Question for you. Master Crow, I need you must know I've been asleep for a long time.
I've read your file.
I have not, so. Master Crow, were there any large battles that he had fought in prior to my awakening? Between the day I disappeared and now?
There were some insurgencies that he has had to put down. There are some negotiations that have turned sour. Large scale war he has probably never seen.
Of from your master, has he always gone to teach? Has he taught you more of the blade that sits at your hip, or oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Does she have a lightsaber on her or no?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. Okay. Has he taught you more of the blade that sits on your hip, or has he made you scour through the words in the library?
Some days I feel like I would prefer more saber training, but he is not a man of action. If that's what you're asking.
It was, in a roundabout way.
He's worried.
For what?
He has seen things. And darkness is coming, and he wants to be prepared. And he thinks that you can help, Eedee. That you,
What is your brother's name?
Jairus. There's no
I know him well.
hesitation. There's no hesitation in her voice.
I know him well.
He
How much help do you want to be in this moment?
I mean, I can't go against the council, if that's what you're asking.
I am going to tell you a few things, and if you see through these words and understand the true meaning behind them, then I trust in you enough if you do share the blood with Jairus. Knowing him as well as I do, I have a feeling you may follow the path I'm about to lay in front of you.
I'm all ears.
Your brother died on Bespin and was brought back to life through the Force, a task that is not easy to do, yet it happened. I witnessed it. You can tell through. I'm sure you can sense within me that there is not a lie in my voice.
I wish I could, but the Isalamiri that Master Crow has placed in your atrium make
Well,
it difficult. But I can
I
also
figured
assume that you can't use the Force to deceive me.
I cannot. You only have my words, and I am trying to tell you an honest truth, for I have no reason to lie to a young woman such as yourself. Your brother died on Bespin, was brought back to life. He saved myself, a few of our friends, and en route from Bespin to here, he grew distant. The distant that all Padawans are advised to speak on.
You bring him back.
Oh, I tried. But that conversation was never easily accessible.
She shakes her head. She's like, no. Were you the one that brought him back?
Oh, no. I was not near when it happened. It was another friend of ours.
There's another Jedi with you.
They are not Jedi.
But they brought him back.
Has your master explained to you that the Force flows through all?
Of course, with everyone, all Jedi are taught this.
Yes. So it is not. There's no need for you to be Jedi to understand that capability. There are some who have an innate understanding of it, and I
Yes, like the
feel this
Dathomir
is
witches, or the Tipo paladins, or
exactly.
the
Yes.
monks of Shimura.
Yes. Exactly. My statement here stands that. Well, actually, it continues. Your brother is on this planet, or I don't know how long I've been in your captivity, but from the day I was plucked off of the landing strip, he was on this planet. However, he was flying away, possessed by this dark force.
I've been able to sense him.
I can. Knowing him, I'm sure I can sense where he is. And if not, the group of farmers that we were working with may have a tracking on him.
They've
All I know, my captain has already found him.
gone off planet.
They've already left.
Yeah. I mean, the ship
That means
that we saw you arrive in, that we were monitoring, has gone off planet.
and they've gone to find him.
I hope they find him then.
We can. I am telling you this not as a crystal who wants liberation, but as someone who has been disconnected from their family for a long time. Or themselves, depending on who you ask. You can find your brother easily under the guise of recruiting a Padawan that you had sensed, or saving someone from falling to the dark side. And while your master may not like it, I do not know if he is still in power, but a very old friend of mine, uh, Master Yodo, he applauded such acts.
Tell me about this other Force user that brought him back. Who are they?
There is someone who are still finding themselves. If they are still on planet, I don't know.
You're on the planet.
They were. I have a feeling they left with Flid.
Your captain.
Yes. 2 force users for the price of 1 doesn't sound very bad to me.
Miscounted. Eedee. There's 3 of you.
No, I didn't. I meant you going.
I can
Getting-
sense it on my brother now.
Can you?
Before he left, before he went off world, I sensed an anger in him, darkness, coldness. He welcomed it into himself. Thank you for this conversation, Eedee. And you see she motions, and the technician cuts off your voice box
You can.
and the microphone, and they both walk out.
I blow up the camera. I just overheat it.
Okay. You don't know how long it takes because now you don't have a sleep cycle,
Yeah.
but you are patched through to one of the other cameras in one of the other corners, so you now have a different view of the room. And as it comes to life, the technician kind of nods at Nella, and you see her reach into her robes, and she just places at the edge of the atrium a small, almost jagged piece of an ice blue rock. She just places her hand on the atrium. You see her mouth something, and then she leaves with the technician.
Can I read her lips?
That will be a very tough roll.
What am I using?
That is also a good question.
Use the force.
Well, he can't.
If I'm using a security camera, can I use security?
No, because that's to bypass security systems.
It was worth a shot.
Because I think it would just be a flat perception check.
Not investigation.
No.
Yeah, I figured. Okay.
Let
Uh,
me see if there's anything else that comes close to that. I don't think you do have anything.
I got command, con, hide, investigation, persuasion, search, and sneak when
Yeah.
it comes to perception.
Yeah, none of those actually
Yeah,
fit the
figured.
bill.
Okay. So perception.
Yeah, perception.
All right, I'm gonna use a handy dandy force point.
Ooh, it's gonna double your dice pool.
That goes to 4. God, man, it was worth a shot.
That means it also doubles the bonus I was giving you. Oh, but you rolled a 1.
Because why would I ever want something good to happen in this game?
So 9 plus my bonus. You see, you can't make out what she's saying. At least you're having doubts as to what you think she said. But the only word for a fact that you get from whatever she said to you that you know without a shadow of a doubt is the word hope.
Hope.
Yeah. But they leave once the camera's working again. And with that, we shift back over to the evening at Jix's farm. And you see Reissup pull up and two fraternal twins, human also. They kind of come down off of the truck as well. They look to be maybe in their mid to late 20s. Excuse me. They're both kind of chestnut brown hair. The male has it kind of short and frizzy. The female has it kind of just off the shoulder but tied back in a ponytail. They're both kind of muscular, kind of athletic builds. They're wearing kind of just jumpers and overalls, and the Reissup kind of comes over. He points at the male. He's like, "Let me introduce you to Auric and his sister Sewa. The Numenor twins have skills that I think might be useful in our endeavor moving forward." And he kind of smiles and he's like, "You want something blown up? I can do it." And she's like, "If you need something fixed, I can do that."
Right. It's not my head, and I'm still thinking of what I saw on the projector.
Yep.
Seeing AIM wearing a Republic uniform.
Yep. And you gather everybody together. Hattie wants to go, but Jix and Krilla kind of convince her to stay with her. So you have Jix, you have Illis, you have Reissup, and now you have Auric and Sewa. What do you want them?
All right. Time to now or never. Want to do this? This is the time to step down.
You see the new kid kind of crack his knuckles. His sister kind of cracks her neck. Reissup pulls out the kind of long box that you saw him pull out when he was showing you the hunter killer droid. He's like, "I brought it just in case." Any word from your droid friend?
Haven't heard anything. I was hoping your friend Gouda could find out more information. Right now, we gotta make sure we get this done first.
All right. He takes it inside the house, puts it in the basement, comes back over. Everybody kind of gets into the ship, and Jix kind of looks up at you. He's like, "This is your ship now. Jix will take whatever role you deem for him." And Illis kind of gently puts his hand on his shoulder and just kind of nods at you. And what do you want us, Mr. Grilled?
Because you're the pilot. Liz, what can Liz do again?
Illis is not really built for space combat, but he's got a can-do attitude.
Okay, Illis definitely gonna want you on one of the. How many turrets we have? 2 or 1?
You have 2 turrets, I believe.
One you, Auric on you on one of the turrets.
Oh no, the Neverwhere had 2 turrets. You have 1 turret and one gun facing forward.
On Auric on the turret, you can handle the gun in front of the ship. Reissup and Iowa handle any mechanical issues and everything that's mechanical, droids, Barnaby, and what was the name of the droid again? The other one?
Radio?
Radio. Barnaby and radio will handle tech support, assist um, Iowa and Reissup.
Yeah, you see him kind of spin in a circle as he beeps and boops, and Jix kind of looks at him and is like, "He will not be coming. He has been captured by the Republic." And there's a small little firework that goes off from one of the little pockets that he has on top of his head.
Right. I will be handling navigation.
They all nod, and kind of everybody walks over to the elevator. And you go all to your respective areas. It is Jix, you, and Illis in the cockpit. Oric is in the turret, and Reissup and Sewa are in the engine room and the kind of what's it called? The control room for the electricity and things like that, respectively. Radio kind of is hanging out at the doorway to the cockpit. The ship takes off. There's a rocky kind of lift off.
Right. I put my hand on Jake's shoulder. I'm gonna do this, Jakes. Got it, Ellis. This.
They both nod.
I sit in the navigation controls.
Yep. And sure enough, as the kind of ship starts to take off, you climb into the stratosphere. You can see the last vestiges of gold and red and orange and yellow of the day that you're leaving behind, and the blackness of space starts to engulf the ship. The sounds of the engines are kind of roaring as they're being pushed. The smell of just this crew that is not your crew just lingers differently. And there's a little bit of a micro jump the second you clear the atmosphere. You see Jix kind of just bring the ship out towards the gas giant. And that's when you see the Thanes rise, sitting in orbit.
Really, again?
And you just hear the comm unit come to life. Jix opens the channel. "Oh, well, look what we have here. Can't get enough of me, can you then? What was your name, Captain Grilled?"
That is correct. Sorry, I can't remember your name, nor do I care.
"Oh, you're breaking my heart. Don't say that. Here I was about to make friends with you." And Jix kind of leans over, is like, Jix has seen them turning on their weapons.
Friends, you have a funny way of friends. I do not, if I do recall the first time met.
I can attribute that to just being coy, as it were. You know, we thought that you had something we could use, and as such, we felt like we might need to take it from you. But now, things are a little different. I kind of think I just want your ship and part of my fleet.
Can't have ship, Chris.
Can't I know? You do remember my name. Oh, what a charmer you are. Playing hard to get.
Look, what we're doing right now, it's more important than anything. It's beneficial to the galaxy. You either get out of my way and let us complete the task. So help me.
The second you say that, you see the shots come out from on top of the ship from the turret. And her ship rocks. And she's like, "Oh, sucker punching, are you? All right, I see how it is." And the communication
Get
goes
that
dead.
order to fire.
The communication goes dead. And you see her her shields start to kind of come up. And you just hear him. I was getting tired of this. Like I don't do pirates. You know, it's just
Right, you just probably endangered this ship and the rest of the crew. That was not your decision to make.
Jix immediately pushes into the gas giant.
Maybe shields.
Right?
Radio shields.
Comes over. He starts to interact with the consoles.
Right, stay alert and fire if you have to now.
Yeah, and I'm ready. I'm ready this time. On a private channel, you hear the voice of his sister. "I'm sorry about him, but he has issues."
All right, he's the right person for that.
And you hear the gunshots go
Right.
off again as the heavy turrets just start opening fire. Ilis kind of looks at you. He's like, I cannot fire at anything that is not in front of me. I apologize. Otherwise, I would be helping."
Oh, no worries. As long as he keeps firing back at them, we'll head forward and continue our task. Would not let King's Rise or Captain Pris stop us from this.
And
More important.
as you start to descend into the gas giant, the first of your many issues start to arise, and you see the shields just drop to zero. And as they do, the computer starts to tell you that it's getting prepared to jump into the heart of the planet.
Right, crew. Zotzzek. Stand by and prepare yourselves. Going in.
You hear back from Reissup. "Oh, I barely got to that one in time. I am stressed out here. I don't know how you are making it possible to do these micro jumps on a moment's notices, but I'm gonna keep trying to stop them."
Going on with the shields.
Illis looks up and he's like, "The interference from the gas giant is making it very difficult to put our shields up."
Won't follow us into this gas giant, correct?
I don't know how crazy a person this Pris is, but it would be suicide to follow us in.
All right. Continue.
All right, and as you push forward, we transition back to Eedee in the atrium. Excuse me.
Is that blue rock still there?
Yeah. And it's been about 24 or so sleep cycles from the lizards.
Okay.
And you see Doman come in.
Well, it's a long period of time for no one to show up.
Yeah. And the technician comes over, and again, they connect the microphone, they connect the voice box. He kind of stands in front of the atrium. Eedee, what did you say, my apprentice?
You had a few questions, and I had a few of my own. I asked about you. I asked about how the the order is now, and she asked me about who I was traveling with before I got here. Why?
She's gone off the reservation, as it were.
She's missing?
Not missing.
Okay.
She's just making herself difficult to find. I want to know if you had anything to do with that. Seeing as how
I mean,
she left this kyber crystal for you right out in the open.
is that what that is? I'm going to be honest. I've been trying to will one of the lizards in my atrium to go look at it for me. However, I have no connectivity due to the fine craftsmanship of the glass.
He smiles and he's like, "Have you, with all the time that you spent in the library, you never read up on Merkur, the
Ah,
planet Merkur?"
I cannot say I have. No.
Oh. Allow me to enlighten you, as it were.
Oh, please.
The pair of reptiles that we have in this atrium with you, they're called Islamiri. They how do I put this gently? They negate the force.
Killers.
They they're blanks, spots, in the force. The natural predators seem to hunt using the force, and as such, they have developed the ability to shut down anyone that tries to call on the force around them.
Oh, quaint.
Yeah, they're useful. Even
Suppose they are.
even at my skill level, you see him struggling to make the rock float. Then he kind of places it down. She she deleted the transcript and the video files of whatever happened between the two of you, so
I didn't realize transcripts were being made. I would have spoken more eloquently every time I saw you.
uh, like I said, Eedee, the council believes in the goal of this endeavor, this experiment.
If this is true, then this is not a council of Jedi. It is a council of false idols. This is not the Jedi that I was taught work.
And
This is
crosses his
this is the
arms.
republic that I have understood. This is a new republic, a republic of bureaucrats with the Jedi slaves. So it seems.
He crosses his arms and he's like, "That's exactly what I'm trying to stop, Eedee."
Then why have me here under this pretense of you joining them? This General Rames or whatever he is now.
Senator Rames.
I truly do not care for what title he holds. The man is a murderer and tried to have me killed on Bespin.
Rames
Is
is protected.
He is a threat to the Jedi and their ways, to the Republic for what it stands for.
You have any
And
proof of this, Eedee?
I do. I have recordings of it on my old on my on one of the droid bodies on my ship.
The ship that is no longer on the planet.
It may have crossed them over into the current form. if you wish to check the files there.
I will have one of my technicians do so.
But there is evidence of Rames in his axe.
The reason that I allowed myself the assignment to protect Senator Rames is so that I could be close to him. I believe you, Eedee. I believe that he has ulterior motives. I also believe that he's not alone. He's acting in concert with somebody else.
There's a woman that he works with. I don't know her name exactly, but she is, above all else, a traitor to this republic and what it stands for.
Do you have proof of that?
The words of her actions and those who she has affected, yes. I have never personally met her, but they come from a trusted source. I would not lie to you about this. For above all else, I swore a duty to the Republic and to the Jedi Council above all.
Eedee, when I came in here to explain my dream, my vision of you excuse me, supervising a cadre of droid defenders, that wasn't a soapbox speech. I truly believe that you can do some good in this galaxy.
The most good that I could possibly do is cataloging in the library words my master has told me.
Jethro killed.
I'm not. Yes. I'm not made for battle. My form is weak. These are things I've learned to accept in my age. However, I also am cognitive enough to know that I am more than a host of servers to pilot droids for protection.
You see him hand the technician a round object that you recognize as one of the kind of hollow transceivers. And they connect it to your cradle. He's like, Eedee, that is a file holding the last bit of. I think you should just watch it. I think it'll open you up to what I'm suggesting.
I press play.
Okay. You see a kind of blue-green planet, and you're getting closer to it. And as you are coming into its atmosphere, the hollow projection is pulled away in a different direction, and you see a coin knight, that looks just like Jethro Kiln. And it's a little bit younger, and there's another Twi'lek sitting on the pilot seat of whatever ship he's on, and as he's kind of moving away from the cockpit, you see that there is a kind of sadistic grin on this coin knight's face, and it lowers himself down to what looks to be a kind of cargo containment, and the ship opens up and you see that the vast green and blue isn't from like water or foliage, it's from gas. The the planet's atmosphere is green and blue gas, just obnoxious, kind of thick, almost cream-like, heavy cream-like swirls. Especially where the ship has kind of disturbed it. And you see this, what you can only imagine is the child of Zotzzek Kiln kind of jump off of the landing ramp before the ship has even landed. And he starts to make his way to what looks to have been Jedi architecture at some point, but it's been kind of ravaged by time and other things. And as he's about to get to the main door, another ship disturbs the swirl, the miasma of an atmosphere. And as it lands, you see this Keldorian come down. He starts to make his way unnaturally fast towards the coin knight making the recording, and you hear him just yell out, "Stop! Stop this!" And the coin knight laughs. Why? There's nothing here. It's just old stories. And then you hear the coin knight yell out, "You are not well, Thicklick. Please come back to the academy. We can help you on Ossus." Kind of laughs. The coin knight laughs, and you see in the periphery of this video recording the Twi'lek excuse me, I'm rushing forward towards the Keldorian and ignite a lightsaber. It's a green blade. The Keldorian stops it with his blue blade, and there's a force push as kind of telekinesis thrusts him back. And you hear the lightsaber sound of another blade igniting, and you see the recording shows you the recorder, the coin knight, kind of holding up his blade, and the green color starts to bleed into red. And you hear, "He has promised me, Master Dolo, what you couldn't. I'm going to see this through." And the Keldorian, who you now know as Plo Dolo, just holds out his lightsaber. He's like, "There is no need for this, Thicklick. Think of your father. Think of the legacy that you're tainting." And the hollow recording drops almost like as if Viklik just kind of dropped the recorder onto the floor without a care. And so the angle becomes skewed, and you see the two of them fight. It's not long. It's frankly sad to see master and student fighting. And just as the Twi'lek kind of comes to, reignites his lightsaber, and is about to join in, Viklik is cut shoulder to waist, shoulder to hip. And with the same turn, Lo Dolo kind of holds out his lightsaber at the Twi'lek student. Drop it. I've lost one student. I won't lose two. And the Twillick, after a moment, just kind of looks out and in a language you don't recognize says something. And Plodolo kind of nods at him. I understand. The dark side is seductive. And both lightsabers turn off. The Twillick comes over, picks up the recorder, and turns it off. You're back in the room. And the camera. Dolman Crow still standing there. The technician sitting behind the atrium.
So which one did you know?
I grew up with Viklik as Viklik Kiln, Jethrak's son, was older than me. He was like an older brother. I wanted to be part of Master Dolo's class because Viklik had earned his slot there. I was turned down. I think if I had been involved with Viklik Kiln, I might not be here right now. We might not be having this conversation. Master Dolo wrote in his report that Viklik Kiln had become the puppet, the host, you could say, for a Sith spirit named Darth Zavat. Eedee, I believe you've come in contact with this Sith spirit.
I believe I know who he's possessing currently.
I believe I know who it is as well.
And I believe we both know who's gone after him.
Eedee, I can't force you to be a part of this project, this experiment. But I need your help.
I will not promise to be a part of the experiment. It does not feel like my pathway. However, the Force has intertwined me into this tapestry. And someone I care about is under the possession of someone who hurt someone you cared about. And I would rather see my own downfall than for him to succumb to this.
And I trust that if I give you a body, you will not run away.
Only in his direction.
All right.
I just hope you can keep up.
I need to go find a student. It's my priority.
I would like my body back. That is where my lightsaber is.
well. And you see him reach into his coat, into his robes, and he pulls out your lightsaber.
Or it's right there.
Your body is on its way to Coruscant. Probably there by now.
Why does everyone move my body? I've had that for almost 150 years.
Yeah, and it looks like you've modified it
I had to do some things to get it working.
to the outer rim and back. I've
Just tell me what you're putting
requisitioned.
me in.
I've requisitioned another droid for you.
Okay.
I just hope that it serves you as well as as the other body has. This one you'll find has not been modified heavily. The only modifications we made are to its right leg, since you were very fond of this kind of shadow holster.
It gets you through Bespin.
Cool. It has been modified with it. And you see what looks to be a very kind of bare bones C-3PO droid, like a protocol droid, come in. It doesn't have the actuators on the forearm connected to the bicep. It doesn't have the kind of same skeletal structure that typical protocol droids have. And you see that the inside where you would sit has been hollowed out, and there is reinforced armor that has kind of been placed around key parts of the body. And he has one of the technicians come in, prepare the cradle in the droid body, and as they're doing that, you see what looks to be a group of medical officers, you would guess by the uniform, come in, but they're not doing anything to you. You see them kind of attach pieces of garment to the droid body to make it look like an actual Jedi. And one of them even has a robe for you. You see that she's maybe about 5'8", 5'7". It looks like she might have led a happy life until recently, but her big Celestin eyes carry a heavy load.
Right.
One of the technicians comes over, opens the atrium, pulls you from it, and as he does, you lose the microphone, you lose the voice box, and you lose the camera. And after a moment of what you would imagine is a few minutes, you suddenly have the binocular vision that you're used to. You have the kind of audible sensors that you're used to, picking up audio and also transmitting audio. And you have full range of motion from this droid.
I want to walk to the Celestin woman.
Yeah. She unfurls the robe and kind of opens it up like somebody offering, to put it on you.
Hold on, wait.
This might be your new voice from now on, so think very carefully how you want to play this.
This is difficult.
Yeah.
Please.
I wasn't told ahead of the
Please make a
session.
good choice.
I wasn't told ahead of the session, hey, you're gonna have a new voice today. Make sure you come in ready with one. It's like, no, at the end. Okay, cool.
Yeah, surprise.
Pressure,
Surprise.
pressure, but no
No
pressure, but
pressure.
you better make this
No
count.
pressure.
Nope. Top of the line specs on the droid.
Choose wisely, or you're getting your voice
Yeah.
box ripped out.
Hello. My name is Eedee. What is yours?
She bows respectfully. Master Jedi. This is an honor. My name is Aim Bombas.
Have I heard that name
Nope.
before? No?
Nope.
Pleasure to meet you.
She helps you put the robes on. You see
Where are you from, Miss Bombas?
Solist. Some people take the atrium out of the room, and there's flood as the force kind of washes back over you.
Oh, I come.
And you feel behind you Dome and Crow kind of pulling on the force. And as you turn around, you see that he's already kind of separated the pieces of your lightsaber. And he's like, I believe that this is your issue. You see him point to the empty cradle.
Yes. Yes, it is. Can I lift it in?
Yeah, roll your
Oh.
altar,
Oh, here we go. This is where I fail.
right? How many ones can you roll in one night?
What is it?
And like, that's a lot of one.
I want to roll a willpower. I want to roll willpower. Let me do it again.
It doesn't weigh that much, so it's not a high roll. And as you are putting it into its cradle, you see that a small fracture occurs and a sliver of the gem falls to the floor. But
Like me.
the rest of it kind of sits in the cradle how it's supposed to. Doman closes it up and then just kind of sits it on the counter where the atrium was, and you see him pick up the sliver. And he kind of looks up at you and is like, I think you should keep this as a memento. And he places that next to the lightsaber.
Them both in my hip pocket.
You don't even want to turn it on?
Oh, I mean. Oh, bada boo, let's go.
Right? You push the activation button. There's a hum that comes from the casing. And there is the traditional, tried and tested click hum. And the blade emits out. What color is it?
Was not aware this would also be happening. I think it feels green.
Sure enough, a green blade just extends outward, a vermilion green, very reminiscent of Jethrak Kiln's green lightsaber. And there's a moment where you realize what green means to you. Green is the color of the Guardians, of those that must go out into the darkness to find the light, a hope that is being snuffed out, and rekindle it, to bring back, to be a beacon, a lighthouse, a shadow. And Doman kind of looks at the blade. You see him pull his off of his belt, and he ignites his green lightsaber.
We are more entwined than it would seem, Master Crew.
I believe our paths have been brought together for a reason, Eedee.
If I may be frank, I cannot wait for Flid to see this.
And as you say that, we shift back over to the heart of this gas giant. It has been a rough go of it. You have had near misses. The Thane's rise has pulled away the second you got deeper and deeper into the gas giant. Sewa and Reissup are both in the kind of engine room, as it's required the two of them to kind of shut down every time that this ship has wanted to shoot into hyperspace for no reason. And there's a moment where Jix is sweating. He's got a foot on the console. He is trying desperately not to lose control of the ship. And you hear Illis get up and point, and he's like, "It actually exists. I can't believe it." And you see him point out, and sitting there in a fast orbit around this core of a gas giant, this heart of a storm within a storm within a storm. And Jix just kind of in awe. Illis rushes out to turn on the tractor beam. And the moment the cargo bay doors open, there's just nothing but noise that swallows the ship. The heart of the storm is just ripping the insides of this ship apart. You can just hear metal and electricity and wiring just kind of fritz and shoot all over the place. And even as the ship has been turned around, you can just see that there are pieces of the insides of the ship just kind of like swirling around. And there's a moment of just utter dread, because all you hear is the sound of what you can only imagine as a hurricane inside a tornado inside another hurricane, and what that must be, what that must weigh on you. And you can't even hear the screaming of Reissup or Sewa kind of trying to keep the ship from just destroying itself. And then everything stops. And there's a moment of just pure quiet before the comms come to life, and you hear Illis, "Damn it. It's in the cargo bay. Get us out of here." And with that, Jix punches it. And there's a moment where you shoot out of this gas giant. Behind you is just this long, draconic trail of gases as you kind of speed off into the cosmos. And Jix just kind of slumps in his seat. Not defeated, but just like, this must be what victory is.
Pat his shoulder. My own happy tears. Did it. Did it on the intercoms. Did it. Did it, crew.
You just hear celebration.
Hear that, Zotzzek? We did it.
People wooing, people cheering.
Get it together, all of you.
And then
Each and every one of you.
you see Jix try to throw the ship into a micro jump to go back, and everything shuts down. And the ship is just plunged into darkness. And I believe this is where we'll stop our episode tonight. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining us this evening. Please go out there, and if you haven't, get your vaccinations, please. As we always do on the channel, we always have a nod to mental health because it's part of our general health, and there shouldn't be any stigma attached to it. If you're watching live on Twitch, there will be some phone numbers in our Twitch chat in case you need help. Please don't think of it as being stigmatized or a taboo. If you need help, please go out and get it. If you're a friend or family member of somebody that is usually a strong personality or happy-go-lucky personality, please reach out to them because you never know who might need a simple hello or a how are you to change their trajectory. So please look after yourself, look after each other. If you need to, please keep wearing your masks, and please get vaccinated so that we can all come out of this on the other end. And as always, I will see you on Monday for our Camarilla chapter of our Vampire the Masquerade game, or on Wednesday for our Legend of the Five Rings game, or next Friday when we pick up this delicious little bit of a cliffhanger. So as always, please have a good night and take care of yourselves, and I'll see you when I see you.